What's going on, family? Welcome back. I'm gonna get started here pretty shortly, and I have some exciting news to share with you. I'll be bringing that over in 1 second, just making sure I get everything ready on the back end. I hope y'all had a fantastic week. I hope it's been productive. I hope that you've had an opportunity to grow in many different areas in your life, not just in your career. So let's do it. What's going on, family? Welcome into the channel. My name is David Yeti, and join me as I document my journey from selling cloud security as a salesperson to becoming a cloud security engineer. I'm documenting the journey step by step, everything behind the scenes, from not just gathering the skills, obviously, but the certifications as well. So this is our first official study with me episode. Is going to be a little short, only because I'm still working on a lot of the things that you guys are going to benefit from in terms of the timer, the music, the design, the graphics. I got a lot of things coming, but what I really wanted to do was kick off this series by sharing some of the things I've already done, right? So if you're new here, like I said, I've been working on becoming a cloud engineer, and I think the gap that I'm looking to fill is that a lot of times you see YouTube channels from people and they've already completed the journey. They've already made it to the destination. I didn't see a lot of material in terms of somebody that's actively going through step by step, day by day, from the skills, from the certifications, from leveling up in your current position, and as well as how to put yourself in the spot where you're really wanting to be. So I hope that this is going to add value to your life. Now, what I'm going to do here is, before we get started, I know I've had a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn recently over the last few months, and I've had the pleasure of talking to people and just kind of giving them the game in terms of how I even moved into tech in the first place. So the biggest thing that I had to do was shift my mindset, and the mindset shift takes time. I know that's something that most people are not really willing to do, but the first thing is you have to challenge the way you think. And you have to be honest with yourself, especially if you've had a goal for quite some time and you haven't accomplished it. Personal accountability, you're going to learn, is your superpower. And once you take the accountability of saying, you know what, I've been wanting to, in my case, complete this Google cybersecurity certificate. Now, to be candid with you guys, I've did a ton of start and stops. It kind of reminds me of when I was starting to get into the gym, and I would go work out for a day, maybe work out for a second day, but shortly after that, that was pretty much it. I would either be tired or find an excuse or find some type of reason as to where I couldn't continue. And that happened kind of the same thing with this Google cybersecurity certificate. Like, I remember doing the first couple of courses, and I'll walk through what the courses, how they break down, but I remember going through the first couple of courses, and I would always get to networking, and networking kicked my ass. It really did. And not just like, what's a switch, what's a router, what's a firewall, where in it need to be set up in order to protect your systems and stuff. No, what really kicked my ass was the layer, the application layer, the network layer. Like, those things really kicked my butt a lot. But I pushed through that. And then the second hurdle that I had while getting through this course was Python and coding with Python. Now, I've always wanted to learn how to code. I've started, remember, listen to what I'm saying. I started the course with Harvard a couple of times, and I've always got to a point to where it got so difficult to where I would stop, I would quit. I'm just going to be real with you. I would find something else to do, or I would find an excuse as to why I'm not going to continue to do it. And I had to be real with myself. I had to look in the mirror and say, you know what? You keep doing all this start and stop, you're never going to be a cloud engineer. You have to learn how to push through things, especially when you run into difficult subject, difficult topics. It's, and if something is going on specifically in your life, I cannot explain why. I don't know why is that the case, but it seems like every time I have a huge goal, I'm pushing towards it. I got some momentum. I'm starting to get confident in that, I can really do this thing. Something happens within my relationship, something happens with the children, with my family, at work, financial wise. I remember having, to break into my emergency fund, for example, and pay out $3,000 that I did not want to pay. And that happened on 3 different occasions. And every time I built up my emergency fund, something would happen. But I'm trying to do this while at the same time working my full-time job, doing my gig work on DoorDash and studying. It's a lot. So I know a lot of you are going to be in a position to where you're juggling a lot of things. And for whatever reason, those things happen and they tend to knock us off our path. So that's what I experienced. So my message to you would be, when things start to pop up and when things start to happen as you're going through this journey, for whatever reason, it's designed that way. And it's your job to push through it, to keep the main thing, and to stay focused. Life, relationships, your career, whatever, whatever topic you want to bring up, it's peaks and valleys. Things happen. They happen to the just and the unjust. Sometimes bad things are going to happen. You're not going to deserve it. Maybe you didn't even do anything wrong. And then sometimes it's going to be based off of your own decision making, self-inflicted wounds. That's a given too. But what separates the people who are successful versus the people who are not, let's just call it what it is your ability to persevere and your ability to be resilient. When I finished the course last night, I fell on the floor and I was exhausted. And the crazy thing about it is, this is the very first certification that I'm doing. So it's not even like I still got my AWS certs. So I'm doing AWS, Certified Cloud Practitioner. I'm doing the Solution Architects, the SysOps. And then I'm moving over to the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator. And then that's not even like, that's just a third of the certifications that I'm planning and some of the skills that I'm working on. So let's move over right here. I just want to give you that message, man. I just want to let you guys know that you can do it. It's guaranteed, and not a lot of things are guaranteed in life, but it's guaranteed that I promise you, if you just keep trugging along, keep putting one foot in front of the other, especially on the days when you don't feel like doing it. Those are the days where you build character. Those are the days to where you can build that resilience and that momentum. Old Mo is undefeated. When you get that momentum going, never ever do everything you can to not lose momentum. And there was a couple of times where I had to reset my deadlines. I had to do other things. I had to do modules over again, take tests over again. So it wasn't easy by a long shot. But let's move over here and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, right? So here is the official certificate. And I'm proud. I'm gonna give myself a hand clap. I got to. I'm gonna give myself a hand clap because it was so difficult. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I started on March 31st. Started on March 31st, and I did all of June, all of July, and I finished last night. So about 2 months. So really about 2.5 months, give or take, to get through the whole thing. Now, this is the course, and this website right here, this is Creditly. So this is where all your certifications, at least, yeah, I think all of them are there. As a matter of fact, like your CompTIA certs, because it's through Persons. So Person View is where you go and take a lot of the certifications, and you'll have these badges right here. So let me just go up a little bit. Now, another thing that it does is, let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see this. Oh, no, it's not gonna make a difference. Put it right back here. Boom. All right. So it also gives you like a list of skills. So with these skills right here, what I'm planning on doing is matching them up with my LinkedIn profile. So once I post it on my LinkedIn, Once I post it on my LinkedIn, I'll then assign these skills that's listed here on my profile, and then it'll connect with the certification. Now, one of the things that I noticed about LinkedIn, I've been posting once a week. And if you post earlier in the day, you get a lot more traction. Why is that important? Well, as you're going through this journey and as you're going through you want to share behind the scenes on what you've been working on, and you also want to share um even the failures. Like, even if you go take an exam, because I still have to take the actual CompTIA Security Plus exam that's coming up. No problem. Obviously, I don't plan on failing, but even if something was to happen and I did, I'm going to share that information. Like, okay, well, fail this one, I'm retesting that. It's humanizing yourself and you being authentic to your journey. And those are the things that endear you to people. Like, one of my goals is to document my entire journey, the ups, the downs, the peaks, the valleys, the good, the bad, and be able to share those things. So then when I get into the interviews, I can actually speak to real world experiences, projects that I'm working on. I can speak to those things. So one of the benefits of this is that it goes through, okay, how do you earn your the earning criteria, successfully complete the 9 courses, and here's the endorsements of who this particular certificate is endorsed by. Right, so these are important. And down here, this is the actual badge. I'm gonna click on that. This is the badge that you get from completing the Google course, and once you get your Security Plus certification. So this goes on your LinkedIn page as a badge, right? So between the Creditly profile page, your LinkedIn, and I have a couple of other pages I'm gonna show you too, because one of the things that I wanted to do as I was preparing to go through the entire course, I also have a Try Hack Me page. Now, Try Hack Me is a pretty much a hands-on sandbox. So you can walk through a lot of the concepts that you're learning in the Google Cybersecurity course. So whatever course I'm working on, whether or not it's my AWS stuff, I actually have a site called Pluralsight for that. And that's Cloud Guru. They own Cloud Guru. We'll walk through that once I move on to that certification. But one of the things I like about it, if you notice here, I have a 35-day streak. So that means I've logged in and I've completed some type of assignment, task. I've done something on Try Hack Me for 35 days in a row. I'm extremely proud of that. It shows I completed 11 rooms. I got 7 badges right here as well. And then my rank out of everybody who's on the site. Now, what's crazy about the ranking is that I started off at like 1.5 million or something when I first started off because I didn't complete anything. And this continues to increase as I complete more and more rooms. So once I go down to the completed rooms, so you can see that I got my DevSecOps stuff right here, security principles, blah, blah, blah. So another thing is the badges. The badges are important. Now, I'm gonna give you my strategy behind the badges. As I build out my personal website, this is my thought process. So my personal website is going to be my hub of my digital footprint. So my YouTube channel, my LinkedIn, my GitHub, my Try Hack Me page, my accredited page is going to have link to all of those things. Now, why is this important? Well, when you reach out and you apply for jobs, recruiters go and do a Google search of you. They search you online and they're trying to get a sense of who you are in real life, as well as, do he really have verifiable badges, certification, credentials that can back up the skills that he say he has, he or her has, right? So this is important. What I did was, with these badges, I strategically select badges that are rare. What does that mean? So if you look right here, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me try to zoom in. Okay, maybe you can see it a little bit better. So obviously you got the 7-day streak. So this just saying that it's coming 20.5%. That means 20.5% of all users have this badge. This is where it gets interesting though. Look at this one. Introduction to social engineering, 5.7%. That means only 5% of people have this badge. Linux is a little more common. Check this out though. 30-day streak, only 8%. Now, remember when I said I first started, it was 1.5 million different people on Try Hack Me. My 30-day streak, only 8% of people have been able to make it to 30-day streaks. You go down a bit more. The Course Awakens, DevSecOps. You can't really see it because it's in green, but that's 2.3%. So that means out of this path right here, only 2% of people completed this path. So when you think about making yourself, as credible, as desirable as possible, you can think about, okay, where are the gaps in the market? What certifications can I get that can put me in a position to where I can be in demand, right? What are people really looking for? And that's why I use Try Hack Me. And I'm also going to be using Hack the Box. But for now, I just want to kind of give you an idea of what my thought process is and what I'm looking to accomplish when I create everything. So nothing is done by accident. If you don't take nothing else away from this portion of the live stream, that's what I want you guys to get. Nothing that I do is by accident. Everything is by design. Everything. Let me show you something else. For those of you who are not familiar with roadmap.sh. Now, this is I'm gonna log in real quick. This is a website that industry experts put together. And this is the homepage. So when you first log in, it gives you role-based roadmaps. So essentially, if I just click on one of these, say I want to be a back-end engineer, it walks you through everything that you need to learn. Why is this important? When I first wanted to break into cybersecurity, one of the toughest things for me was deciding what path to actually go down. Because there's so many different ways you can go. You don't believe me? Check this out. This is a security roadmap. This is all of the certifications that are available for you in cybersecurity. Look at this. This is crazy. So imagine you want to break into cybersecurity, but you're not really sure. You have some interest, but you don't really know which path you want to go. Man, this is over 400 and something and counting certifications that's available. So what roadmaps does is it allows you to zero in on exactly what it is that you want to accomplish. For me, I chose the DevOps path. But even if you want to go skill-based, there's different pathways and roadmaps for those too, like JavaScript, React, Python, Rust, so on and so forth. So one of the most important things you can do is just kind of go on roadmaps right here. And I'll put a link down to roadmaps in the description of this live stream once I get done here. I'm gonna put a link in here for you guys to sign up, but it's free. You don't pay anything or anything like that. They have upsells, but you don't need those things. Okay, you can just make the free account. One of the beautiful parts about it is when I log on to my DevOps roadmap, it has two different versions. So this is the more extended version right here. And if you notice, see, can you guys see that? Okay, perfect. So if you notice it's purple right here, this is what the industry experts recommend you take. And then you have a green. This is like an alternate. So if you don't want to do the recommended, you can do the alternate because it's kind of in the same family. And then you have the grayed out. Those are things that's good to learn, but it's not needed to get an entry level to mid-level role. You can just kind of learn it on your own time. This is the detail map right here. So what I did was I said, you know what, this is a little too much. Let me go over to the beginner version. So this is what I did. Now, here's my roadmap. I'm gonna go out just a little bit. So far, I've been able to complete and learn Python. And not only that, one of the things that I love about it, it walks you through exactly what they want you to learn in this particular section. So for example, pick any programming language, but they recommend Python or Golang or Go. And it says the goal is to learn how to write automation scripts. And when I went through the Google course, it actually has a Python section in it that teaches you how to walk through and how to write those automated scripts. Okay. So I'm happy about this as well. I've completed some of these and I got some things coming up like Docker, Git, AWS, Terraform, so on and so forth. And you also have some Q&As down here that can kind of explain to you what the day-to-day duties are, what kind of section or what sector does it fall into in cybersecurity. And you can go down here and read these FAQs, and that'll kind of help you decide too exactly what it is that you're looking to accomplish and what role you want to go down. So you got to be able to use the tools that's available to you guys. Like obviously I'm here, I answer any questions that you know that you may have, but at the same time, um, learning how to go through it and find your own path, that's something that's a skill, that I want you guys to be able to build and cultivate on your own. Okay. So another thing too is the streaks. Now I've been able to log on to roadmaps for 81 days in a row. Give myself a hand clap. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. 81 days in a row. And then tonight is going to be 82 days. Now, one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that whenever you start the streak, so whatever time of day you start the streak, that's the time of day you have to log in order to keep it going. So for example, I started a streak at 8 o'clock at night. So even if I get on there at any time before 8, it's not going to count until I log on before 8 o'clock at night. So in order to keep the streak going, you're pretty much just visiting the roadmap. You don't necessarily have to check off any boxes or anything like that, but it's just like you're aware, you're working on it, you're here. That's what this does. Okay. So let me just check the chat right here to make sure that I don't see anything you guys don't. Let's see here. All right, perfect. Boom. So yeah, man, I think that I just wanted to hop on here and show this to you guys. Like I said, let me go back to the actual, oh, wait a minute. All right, I'm gonna log back on real quick. Give me 1 second. Just make sure you guys don't see my password. You know what I mean? Boom, boom. All right, so we can go back to it now. But it took me a lot to accomplish this. Now, the job is not finished. Obviously, I still gotta start studying for the actual Security Plus exam now, but I have it from accredited sources. These are managers, recruiters, people who've been in the industry for a long time. Once you get your Security Plus certificate, and let's say you tie that to like an AWS cert or associate level, or if you get the Red Hat certified systems administrator, with those two, you can become like a Linux systems admin. Obviously, you can do SOC analyst roles and stuff. But what I wanted to do to differentiate myself is I wanted to shy away from the GRC. I wanted to get away from a lot of those compliance type. And it's not that there's anything wrong with those roles, but I wanted to get more hands-on and I wanted to be more technical because from what I've seen, even in my current company, those roles are a lot more valued than the non-technical roles. So it's not that one is more so better than the other. It's just all about how do you want to differentiate yourself when you're talking about the climate that we're in with all of the layoffs, people not being able to find work. I don't necessarily have that problem because when I set out a goal to accomplish something, I'm going for the more difficult paths. And that kind of explains when I go back over to my profile, that kind of explains why I'm taking some of the paths, even on my Try Hack Me, is that I'm going for the difficult certifications that most people are not willing to do because then that differentiates me from everybody else. That's what I'm doing. I hope that makes sense. So yes, the path might be harder. It might be, longer for you to accomplish, but at the same time, I go for the hard certifications because I know that those are going to be the rare jobs. Those are going to be the paths that most people are not going to take. And as a matter of fact, I give you a secret. One of the biggest slept on opportunities I've seen is like Linux, working with Linux. Linux is sort of the backbone of a lot of the modern technologies right now. And if you learn how to use the Linux command line interface, like if you learn how to do command line, if you learn how to do bash or PowerShell or something like that, like there are literally roles and jobs in the government, gov tech is what they call it now, sector that'll bring you in just with Linux knowledge. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. I'm telling you not what I'm guessing. I know that they will hire you with those credentials. And then when you add that in with a couple of other credentials, you'll you'll be set. So I'm looking forward to sharing more of the journey with you guys. I just wanted to hop on for a few minutes, right? I'm going to start doing the resume, the whole process of like applying for jobs. But before I even do that, it's time to study. So starting next Saturday, we are going to have live study sessions. And what I'm hoping to accomplish with that is that whatever you're working on, bring the things that you're working on as well, right? And share in the comment section on what type of music are you guys looking for. Like for me personally, I love jazz. I love reggae, thon type music. So I'm going to be sharing those types of music on the live stream, and then we'll theme it out, we'll make it fun, but it's going to be very interactive, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you're able to take something from my channel because one of the things I really want to do is share like my authentic journey with you guys and understand that it's not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy, especially when you're talking about moving into a technical role or something like that. But it is very much possible. So I just let me go back over to my other screen. I hope that you guys take something from what I'm sharing with you. I start I started and stopped this certification program multiple times, guys. And I was able to find a way to push through it and finally make it happen. And it's a good feeling. I'm gonna go out today. I'm gonna celebrate myself. I'm gonna be heading to the gym here in a couple of minutes. After that workout, I'm gonna stop by the mountain. I might get me a little Panda Espresso. So I'm gonna do something to celebrate this accomplishment. So I hope that you know what hope springs eternal. I don't really think it's about hoping. I want to get a lot more pragmatic with what we decide to do and what we're focusing on. We'll break it down. We'll take a systematic approach to it, right? And whatever I find out that helps me with my calendar, how I plan out things, I'll explain sort of my thought process around it and why I've decided to do certain. Maybe I can do that in the next live stream. So in the next live stream, study for me. At that point, it'd be just me doing exam prep because I'll be done with all of the resume stuff. I'll be done adding it on my LinkedIn profile. I'll share with you kind of like what I use on LinkedIn to grow my following. So right now I'm a little bit over 1,200 followers. Matter of fact, I can pull it up real quick. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm a little bit over 1,200 followers on my LinkedIn page. And I got that by just sharing my progress and sharing some of the things that I was doing. So this is my, let me see if I can pull this up a little bit. Yeah, I can show this. So here's my LinkedIn page right here. Um, Here's my LinkedIn page. Can you see that? Oh, let's see, go in just a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. So I'm a little bit over 1,200 followers so far. Obviously, matching with the connections as well. But even with that, I was still very strategic on who I decided to connect with, what I've been posting. Um, it's kind of like a mixture between I post some of my personal life, like what I'm doing personally, obviously the journey and things as well. Um, in terms of the certifications, the projects, I post those on there. And then I post pictures of like me traveling, me, what I do to kind of unwind, to add some personality in it too. So maybe that'd be a good thing we can talk about during the breaks. So the way that I'm gonna set up the study for me is obviously we're going to be on we'll probably start with like an hour and a half, give or take. We're going to do the Pomodoro method as well. And then during the breaks, we can have breakout sessions and talk about a couple of different things on how to improve our digital footprint, LinkedIn page, try hack me. We can show all those things too. Okay. So I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, man. Like I said, if this is your first time being on the channel, thank you. Welcome. My name is David Yeti. I document my real journey from moving over from cloud sales to becoming a cloud engineer. And then I show you the good, the bad, the ugly, the peaks and the valleys, everything in between. All right. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all in the next live stream. All right. Peace.